Hello guys and welcome to a new video. Sorry if I sound weird, I'm pretty sick at the minute, so I'm going to try and do the whole video without coughing. So let's get into it. I've had an absolute nightmare, just a waffle for like 2 minutes over the past week. The windows left open overnight, so my PC got drenched in water, and yeah, it was a big problem. And so yeah, I had to let the PC dry out for a few days, and then now I've got very sick. So it's so much fun. I'm having such a good time. But yeah, I mean, this is a lap time for Sebring. I've done a million laps of this track by now because of IMSA season, and then this now for Sebring 12. So let's get straight into it. So the car that we're in is the Ferrari 499P. Can't give you the conditions; they are team related, but lines and stuff like that will remain basically unchanged. Three things that you need to know for Sebring. It's very bad on tyre wear, so you have to really, it's really, really hard to nail a lap around here compared to other tracks in my opinion, and especially to try and nail a stint, almost impossible in my opinion. But this lap was very, very good. So yeah, let's get into it. So coming off the straight, let me just turn the volume down a little bit, it's so loud. Going off the straight, you want to basically brake in the indent of the wall. So like around here, once the wall starts to sort of curve inwards. And the really important thing here is, so you see my throttle trace and my brake trace never cross, and this is something that you need to keep basically all the time throughout every corner. So just be really, really mindful of that. I see, so like I genuinely like I spectate a lot of people, and everyone has this problem where they just cross over their input. Stop doing it, please. It first of all, it slightly overheats your tires. You'll actually have more front end if you just lift and coast a tiny bit. It basically costs no time, so just do it. It's pretty easy to integrate. If I had to recommend how to integrate this, it's literally just by using reference. I mean, if you want me to do a full video on it, which I don't really think it needs to be, but I mean, if you want me to do a full video on why not to cross, then let me know and I can do it. But yeah, just don't cross, brake at the end, and then really just carry the speed through this corner. You know, nice smooth trail brake. Try not to drop the brake too much, and then get back on throttle. And it should be a really nice, disciplined push, is what I like to call it. There's no sort of waiting. There's no 50%. Wait. Go down a bit and then go up to 100%. No, it should just be one nice smooth arc up. This is how the throttle tray should look like. You have so much downforce here. You don't need to cadence throttle here. You just push to 100%. And then we use this curb on the exit. Just be really careful not to touch the dirt. And yeah, the point of which you get back on throttle is literally this cone. It's such a nice reference. So yeah, try not to touch the dirt, come back, and then we brake in between the 3 and the 2 cones. So I lift at this access road, and then I start to brake at the 3 cone. And the trick is here, you really need to carry the speed in. I see so many people overslowing here. Just trust that the car will hold is the best way I can describe this. And just really use the trail brake to steer, not the steering too much, the steering wheel. Just use the trail brake to steer. And then we get back on throttle momentarily, like this. We can push to 100% here, but then we immediately want to back off as we cradle this curb as much as possible. And then we do not try and get back to 100% here. I think this is even a bit of a mistake. I pushed too hard here. This is, in my opinion, incorrect. You want to avoid 100% here because it'll just overheat the rears ever so slightly too much and you get a bit of oversteer on exit here. So the reference for turning in is this end of the curb here. I mean, you really want to maximize the line. So don't try and be in the middle of the track here. You need to have a good exit here because you have a bit of a straight coming up. So wide line in, and then a good reference that I always tell people to get back on throttle is, you see this like jaggedy bit here? It's like a jagged edge. There's where you should get back on throttle. And then be really careful with your cadence pressure and just slowly push up. And just try to control the oversteer as much as possible. You should not make any macro corrections here. And what I mean by that is big steering angle corrections on the exit. It should be pretty micro, like this. And then keep it tight here. Lift at the start of this asphalt patch. Then brake at the 3 cone. And then slowly hold the pressure, hold the pressure, hold the pressure. And then now slowly release as the downforce goes. And then we give grip back to the lateral grip. So then we start bleeding off the brake more, bleeding off the brake more. Avoid the dip on the inside, so don't try and take too much, try not to turn in too early here. And really just maximize the exit. So don't try and cradle this curb too much, you just want to nibble it, like this. Just a nibble. You shouldn't feel it through the force feedback at all. If you can feel it, it's too much. And then the trick is here, we really don't want to use the dirt, so we stay on the curb as much as possible on this bit here. Try not to use the dirt. It loses you a few hundredths. We're talking about micro time here, but everything adds up. And then here we don't want to use this curb because it'll bottom the car out and you'll lose a bit of speed, so just try and avoid it. Bam. Okay, so we brake at the 4 cone here. Bam, nice and early. You know, make sure to cross inputs again. Second gear, carry a bit more speed than you think. Too many people overslow here again. We should get spat out around here, and we want to be pretty much parallel to the curb. So what I mean by that is you're completely parallel in the same you're pointing in the same direction as this curb almost. Of course, there's a little bit of leeway here, but that's what I always try and do as a reference. Be parallel to the curb, and then smash this curb on the left. Don't be scared of it. Smash it. It's faster. It keeps you to the inside a bit more, which just helps a bit with traction, in my opinion. So just really, really, really cradle it. And a big mistake I see here is people try and come in too early here for some reason. They try and, ooh, let me get to the middle of the track. No. Just stay on the outside. Yes, you're taking a longer line, but the front tires are going to absolutely love you over a stint if you do this. And then brake diagonally. So many people have trouble with this. Brake diagonally. There is no reason why you should not. If you are scared and you're taking this line here, and because you don't want to brake diagonally, I don't know what to tell you. Just brake diagonally here, and aim for the 2 cone here, and brake as the transition starts. So as this curb ends, then we start to brake like this, and shift slowly into second gear. That was nearly a cough. So shift slowly into second gear. Avoid this curb because it'll bottom the car. And then we get back on throttle nicely. And just cadence, full push. Cadence, full push. Remember, for slow corners, it's always like this. Cadence, full push. And the trick for this curb is you don't want to absolutely smother it. Meaning you don't want to get all your tire on it. You just want to graze it like this. Or nibble it, as I like to always say. Nibble the curb like a little hamster. You know, you don't want to get all your tire on this curb because the TC just goes crazy and then you lose a bit of time on exit. And again, it's hundredths of a second. But every time I hit this, I punch myself in the head, which explains why I have no brain cells. So just nibble the curb and you get a better exit. Here again, just avoid these curves. It bombs out the car. And then here, brake nice and light. After the curb ends, start to brake. No crossover, third gear. Or you can take second here, it's up to preference. Try not to graze this curb too much. I think this is a bit of a mistake, to be honest. Usually I try and avoid it a bit more than this, and you can see the effect of it. It sort of pushes you out because of the angle of the curb. So in my opinion, I don't try and use it too much. So just be wary of that. And then the reference here is, I want my car to be pointed at this black line here in the tarmac. And that's how I know that I've basically positioned the car perfectly, so I don't sacrifice too much entry speed by being too far over to the right after this, but I don't want to also compromise this left-hander too much by being too far over to the left. So that's the reference that I use. So bam, my car naturally floats out there, and then I sort of cradle this curb, hop over it, and then I slowly start to brake without any crossover, into second gear, clip the apex, and second gear, full push out, cadence, push. Full use of the curb, get off the curb before the grass starts, and then bam, you got perfect normal section. Okay, for Sunset Bend. This one, I used to get wrong all the time, but now it's pretty good. It's actually one of my best corners of the track, so I'm glad that we turned that around, because it took me quite a few laps to do this, to be honest. A few thousand, to say the least, so I'm happy we finally got there. So brake in between the 2 and sort of 3 cone, and you don't want to brake too hard here. You want to have a nice light pressure on the initial entry, because you're going to have quite a sharp steering input here. It's not really like that smooth. It's quite a sharp input. And so you want to have a nice light pressure, because if you have too much pressure, what happens is you just smother the fronts and you're going to compromise the surface temperatures throughout this whole entire section. You're going to lose seconds and you're going to be slow. So, because this is just how the iRacing tire surface temps work. So just please use a very light pressure here to sort of give as much lateral grip as possible while slowing down. And then we slowly arc in, use all the track here, so go on the left side of this white line, and then slowly trail brake, give as much lateral grip as possible, second gear at the last possible moment pretty much, and smash the throttle down, nice cadence pressure, and then come up to full pressure slowly. And bam, use all the track on exit, and there you go. Full lap of Sebring International Raceway. A very nice track, but also a very difficult track. So yeah, a lot to learn, but let's replay that start to finish without me talking. And bam, that's a full lap of Sebring. Very tough track, but with time, laps, and a whole lot of sweating, yeah, I'm sure you'll get there. But any questions, just let me know in the comment section. But yeah, good luck in Sebring 12, and see you in the next one.